Do you know what's wild? The fact that a 75-year-old retiree can make as much in Australia today as the average working person. That's when you take into account things like pensions, superannuation and tax breaks. At the same time, younger Australians are earning a third less than older Australians when you take into account their earnings after tax. Younger Australians have to bear the burden of their HECS debts. They're locked out of the housing market and they're told that they just have to work harder when they're paying half of their income in rent. Ken Henry, who's an Australian tax expert, has called this intergenerational bastardry. And I have to say, I agree. We used to have a contract, a deal, where each generation contributed and each generation benefited from the cumulative accumulation of wealth. We've always had a situation where each subsequent generation is more wealthy than that which preceded it. And that's been part of the contract for people who've had kids of their own. But that contract has been broken. Australians bought a home when the average house cost about 7 times the median annual income. But for younger Australians now, that's 13 times. So what the younger Australians are dealing with is higher taxes, fewer tax breaks, and less support. While things like housing cost more, HECS costs more, and you're dealing with cost of living pressures and the increasing effect of climate change on cost of living as well. Doesn't sound good, does it? But there is some good news out there, and that is that this week the Treasurer is looking at intergenerational inequity as one of the things we have to address in the economic roundtable. Lots of people are talking about the things that we can do to change things, to make things more fair for younger Australians. The most important of those is tax reform, and that's something that I'm continuing to work on in this term of Parliament, and that I'll be pushing the government to work on as well.